Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Subriel Matias or Jaron Ennis. Who's the next superstar? Because when it comes to boxing and when it comes to, I would say, 140 and 147, there's a lot of activity. And we've seen guys whose names have become pretty big in those divisions already go out here on the big stage and have the ability to demonstrate what they can do and get a lot of attention for it and get paid pretty handsomely. Now, the thing about Subriel Matias and Jaron Ennis, they're right on the cusp of greatness. Now, Subriel Matias, I'm not sure how much he's made in his last 3 fights, but him having a title now, I would think he's getting 6 figures, right? But I couldn't find anything definitive on it, so I don't want to come lie to y'all, but I would assume he's making 6 figures. Now that he's signed to Eddie Hearn, I would think he'd be making even more for each fight. 7 figures, I don't know, but I would think he's going to make a lot of money with Eddie Hearn as long as he keeps winning. But you see, this comparison between Jaron Ennis and Subriel Matias, it's not a matter of who would win if they fought each other. They're operating independent of each other. What Jaron does has nothing to do with Subriel Matias. Down the road somewhere, could they fight? Who knows? I don't think so, because I think Jaron will probably bubble up to 154 before Subriel will try to bubble up to 147, because Subriel has work to do at 140. Boots has work to do at 147, but Boots is a big guy. So I could easily see him, if he's not getting what he wants, to bubble up, because Boots is kind of going the direction of like a Boo Andre, where he can't get the fights, he's having promotional issues, and to me, it seems to be a little bit of desperation. So I could see somebody with a big name in the weight, 1 or 2 weight divisions above 147 getting Boots to bite, just because he wants a big name, he wants a big opportunity, and he wants to stay active. But let me tell you the main discernment between Subriel Matias and Ennis. Matias has been saved by the Eddie Hearn gods, by the DAZN gods. The Puerto Rican fighter with them bing bings has got his butt saved. And what I mean is, he is now with a huge promoter who can do huge things for him and make a big difference in his career. He's with Matchroom Eddie Hearn. For those of you out there who are saying he shouldn't have signed with Eddie Hearn, look, I got to cross-examine you. Why not? Tell me something Eddie Hearn has done to hurt a fighter. And I don't want to get this onesie-twosie things, but as long as Eddie Hearn, or let's just say Matchroom has been in the business of boxing, you give me 3 different stories from fighters who are saying they were done wrong by Matchroom. Because I'll tell you what, from what I see about Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and DAZN and Saudi, Eddie Hearn keeps his fighters active. And they all say they pay good. So it tells me that Eddie Hearn is all about his money, but he's not necessarily trying to suck the eyeballs out of fighters. He figures if they're making money, I'm making money, everybody's happy. He's definitely not trying to kill fighters' purses and make it all about the promoter. That being said, Jaron Ennis doesn't have that luxury right now. And I would like to see what happens with this lawsuit to see if Jaron Ennis can get a big machine behind him, because he had Showtime, he had this, promoter, box, whatever the hell that shit is called, right? And everything sounded good on paper, man. A couple fights first couple years, 3 fights the next few years, but they haven't been able to sustain themselves. Now, what I will tell you, Jaron Ennis, his last fight was Roman Villa, and that fight he had a guarantee of $125,000. I don't know how much more he made on top of that. And his previous 2 fights. So bottom line is the Roman Villa, and the 2 fights before that, Jaron Ennis made what's known as at least $300,000 across all 3 fights. Maybe there's a little bit more. I don't know, but that we know for a fact. I don't know what Subriel Matias made, but what I would say is Jaron Ennis, who was an interim IBF champ, who's not a full-blown IBF champ, he can get through this lawsuit and land a super deal with the Eddie Hearn or anybody that can put the machine behind him, Top Rank, PBC. I don't know what direction he should go. But I would say take a little 2-3 fight deal, 3-4 fight deal with Eddie Hearn and go over there and bubble up. People say, oh man, there's nobody at 147 for him to fight. Shit, go get your dough. You know what I'm saying? Because Tevin Farmer, right? Yeah, Tevin Farmer, right? guy, man, 135 was trying to fight 130, 135. Yo, that dude made millions over there. That's when the zone first came on the scene. Eddie Hearn paid him millions. Jesse Vargas made millions. Daniel Jacobs made millions. I'm not saying they're still giving money out like that. But what I'm telling you is there's some money over there. If Jaron Boots Ennis can get over there with Eddie Hearn, and if Eddie Hearn just keep him active. Forget the names you're fighting. Just get active. And I'm sure Eddie Hearn can land a big deal because, hey, right now Eddie Hearn has got that damn connection, the secret society in Saudi. So Jaron Boots Ennis is already a phenom. So is Matias. They just got to get out there and get a couple big wins on a big stage with Eddie Hearn behind him being the mouthpiece that he is, to put these guys on a whole nother level. Then you could see those guys land some huge fights over there in Saudi or wherever else. But the bottom line is, Matias seems to be on his way. Look at Edgar Berlanga. You know, did he come out there on the Matchroom and come out and start tranquilizing people and looking super spectacular? No, but he's active and he's winning. Okay, and he's got another fight coming up. And he's happy because he's making good money. Matias, I think, is going to be grinning ear to ear. That man going to be showing all them Puerto Rican teeth. He's going to be happy. Every day going to be Puerto Rican Day Parade for Matias after he gets his first fight over there and wins. And hopefully he wins in outstanding fashion and gets that first paycheck. And I hope the same thing for Jaron Boots Ennis. But as far as who's the next superstar, I think they're both stars in their own right. But I think Jaron Boots Ennis, he's right there. He's put the work in. His name is known. You got all the big fighters talking about him. Like he's out there. Matias isn't quite out there yet, but we're talking about him. But Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, that's the platform that he needs to really have his profile to grow exponentially. And I have no doubt that Matias can be the next superstar. As far as his style and Jaron Boots Ennis' style, that is a huge contrast, night and day. Jaron Boots Ennis can do everything, inside, outside. You know, he can brawl, counter punch, boxer puncher, be a free swinger. Jaron Boots Ennis can do everything, man. Matias, haven't seen him do all that. He seemed to be pretty much come forward, cut the ring off, and look for the mashup, crash up. His defense, I think, is underestimated. But at the same time, I know for a fact that a guy like that who's dedicated to the sport of boxing is only going to get better. And guys who can brawl and look for the mashup, crash up, and who are durable, right, who have IQ and that power, as long as he can really master cutting off that ring and he can stay effective with that, I think Matias is going to be a problem. Because the problem I see him facing fighting fighters with legs. And what I mean legs, like Jermaine Ortiz, Teofimo Lopez, those kind of legs that can move around the ring for the full 12 rounds. Devin Haney, those kind of legs. Chris Algieri, those kind of legs. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather, those kind of legs. Hard to sit there and get in a fight with someone who can move and bing you. Keith Thurman kind of legs. Move and bing you. Hard to get a win against those guys. So as long as Matias can continue evolving his style, improving, perfecting what he does best, I think Matias can beat anybody. Right now, I'm not so sure you need to rush and put him in there with some of those guys who are the boxer punchers who can move the whole 12 rounds. But as long as he keeps evolving his style, give him a couple more fights, I think he's ready. He's a champion already, but give him a little onesie-twosie. Get his name out there even more, build his profile where everybody's like, shit, he's out here killing people. The fans are going to demand him to take a big fight or unification. For Jaron Boots Ennis, he's already there. There's no more building up for Jaron Boots Ennis. But I do think he's been a little bit inactive, not quite a year yet, but let him come out there, build his profile a little bit more, get him some good recognizable names, and then it's just he's got to fight whoever has the belts at 147. He's got to fight him. It's simple. You know, him and Crawford got to fight, or Crawford got to get out the division or give up the belts. Like, something's got to happen. But Boots he's going to have mandatories. He's going to do what he has to do. But who's the next superstar? I think Boots has already put in a little more work, but they're both on their way. That being said, pray Boots can get a good deal like what Matias got, Edgar Berlanga got. You know, Devin Haney seems to be, him and his dad, very intelligent with what they're doing to make sure they keep progressing. And that's what you want to see, just, in increments. Nobody needs to take these huge leaps and all that, man. No, just incrementally grow your profile, little by little, keep winning, staying out there, being in people's mouths, and good things will happen. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents, in the breeze.